Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Oracle Hospitality session about the power of customization. Today, we'll review the different layers of customization that OPERA Cloud allows for and how it can play a part in both the experience for your staff, as well as the impact it could have for your operations and the guest experience. My name is Eva, and I work in the solution engineering team in Europe, and I'm joined by Cody, who's my counterpart in North America.
Hello, Eva.
Hello, Cody. Let's get started. And let me start off by saying that we understand that no hotel is the same. And it's our goal to provide a solution to hotels that they can scale for their own needs and mold to their operations. The end result of this is that users can be presented with data that's relevant to the property and declutter screens with unnecessary information. Maybe, Cody, you could start with a quick introduction of the concepts of customization and personalization, and maybe talk to us about what this means in OPERA Cloud and why this has so much value for the users.
Of course. Well, let's start with customization. So the first step to all of this is giving the property the ability to customize the system for their hotel. And what this simply means is that management would have the ability to alter certain aspects of the program, and those changes would be made for the rest of the users automatically. So this may be something like creating a field on a guest profile to maybe record their birthday or their favorite food, or it may be something like deleting unnecessary search fields so users aren't presented with so many options. Now, after customization, the second aspect to this is that a property can grant the user the ability to personalize their own experience as well. So taking into account the changes that have been made for everyone, the specific user can then have access to make changes such as creating their own homepage or what we call a dashboard. They may also want to see search results in different ways, or maybe even reorder those search results so important information is shown first for them. Now, this layer of personalization was created because we realized that not all users work and interpret data in the same way. So we shouldn't all have to look at the same details. The end result, given those simplified screens tailored to each property, users are going to be more efficient when they're navigating the program, and we want them to spend time where it's really needed, which is with that guest.
That's great. Well, perhaps we could see some more of this in action. Assuming now that I'm an administrator at an independent hotel and I just finished my configuration of my new PMS. I would like to see my front-end screens and start modifying any fields or buttons that I think are not needed, and perhaps review the order of the information I can see. Could you show me how that would work?
Absolutely. So within OPERA Cloud, certain users can easily enter what we call customization mode. And what's great here is that if a customer has multiple properties, changes can be made to their entire portfolio or a single hotel all at once. And once we've entered that customization mode, we can easily move throughout the program and make those changes that would be reflected for all the users. So for example, if we're looking at search screens for guest profiles, we can select the gear icon and see all of the available search fields. However, perhaps at my hotel, we don't have a membership program. So it should be our goal to simplify those screens and help users see that relevant data. So we can simply click the X on the entry that's not needed, and users are no longer going to see it. In that same fashion, if we don't have a membership program, we'll also be able to tailor the search results and remove the columns that pertain to membership as well.
Thanks, Cody. Now, let's dig a little deeper into what we can customize and how this can help our hotels in delivering better results. Communication is key to delivering the right service to our guests, but communication is as well an important driver for operational excellence. Being able to plan, forecast, and order items needed in your operations team. In this example, let's assume that we want to register the size needed for bathrobes for our new spa resort. Our team needs to be able to see well in advance what is booked for whom and if we have these pieces in stock.
That's a great example. So in certain scenarios, such as my hotel, we want to make sure that we can enhance that guest experience and in particular our VIPs. So we need to make sure that staff are asking for the guest robe size so we can further tailor the service that we offer. But that need to inquire with the guest about that size is only going to be applicable if certain criteria is met. So let's take a look at how this is set up at my hotel. If we venture to the profile screen, we'll note that we're able to see a VIP icon so we can identify that important guest. And also inside of the profile, we can again note that guest status. And because of this, the field shown for bathroom size is going to be present. So to better prepare for the guest, we can use the dropdown to select the desired size. And one thing to note is if we're working on a guest profile who is not noted as a VIP, that field would not be visible, so my staff wouldn't need to ask.
Well, that's a great example of a customization piece that I'm sure many of us can relate to. Something else that could be of interest to the staff at a hotel would be a lookup of certain guests. Now, this could in particular be a VIP as before, or it could be anyone who the hotel would have an interest in understanding more about. So if you do a quick Google search, you might either get an image or you might get some extra valuable information about their interests. This requires a little bit of extra configuration to automate that the lookup includes certain things from a profile. But setting this up in advance will streamline the processes and make it very easy for any user to do a quick search. Could you share with us how we could set this up within OPERA Cloud?
My pleasure. So using custom links within a reservation or a profile, as you mentioned, can be really helpful for both efficiency for those common tasks, as well as just that quest to enhance guest service. So for the example that you mentioned, we can take a look at a guest profile screen where I've placed a custom link. So we'll be able to see when we're looking at the guest profile that the link is going to be very visible at the top of the page. Now, the reason that this was added for my hotel is that I really want to encourage the staff to have quick access to look up additional information on the guest so we can hopefully craft that more personalized experience. Now, while this link can easily be added to simply open up a new web browser, bring us to Google, we can also take that one step further and use some simple formulas to also populate the guest's name in the search box. So this is going to help save clicks and really precious time. And then also, I think, as you mentioned, this is also a great opportunity to maybe snag an image of the guest so we can better recognize them upon arrival. And then another great example for a hotel that's maybe business traveler heavy could be to create a link to work similarly with LinkedIn.
Sounds like a good idea. Often we find that what makes the true difference of a hotel experience is that very personalized service. Of course, that has to do with what I book and what sort of preferences I have. But what we can register on a guest profile is a great advantage to understand our guest priorities and their patterns. An example of that could be man's best friend, our dogs, or any other pet. I have a dog, and when I bring that to a hotel, it's rare that anything is set up in the room. In most cases, it seems like there's an added price to my reservation and a short note that I'm bringing a dog. Do you see any better way to manage this information using our customization tools?
Oh, I like this one. So it's always great when we can do those small things prior to arrival to make the stay more memorable. So here at my hotel, we'll be able to access guest reservations and have the opportunity to choose from a drop-down menu to select if the guest is traveling with a pet. We've come up with a list for users to choose from, which are my most common pets at my hotel. And after that is confirmed, the next natural question, should be, can I have the pet's name? So we can also record that. Now, just perhaps as that guest is arriving, when we're going through confirming those stay details, we can easily see the pet's name and perhaps greet them by name and also with a treat.
And who doesn't love a good treat? It's easy to get carried away with ideas and examples of what we could tailor for different types of hotels. But I think it's time now to switch gears and talk about how specific users will be able to navigate the program and craft their own experiences as well. It's a little bit like with coffee, isn't it? We all have our own personal favorite flavor of coffee. And I think now it's time to find your personal favorite flavor of Opera Cloud.
Thank you, I shall. So of course, personalization, it's always a fun one. So let's take a look at some of the different areas where the user can tailor the program to themselves. So the first and perhaps most commonly used screen is going to be the dashboard currently shown. And this landing screen, it consists of interactive squares that we refer to as tiles. Now, a property can grant the user the ability to pick and choose from an array of tiles to build their own dashboard that will aid them in their daily tasks. So these tiles, they provide both live information without needing to navigate to multiple screens, but it can also reduce the time that it takes to complete tasks. So you can click on those tiles, it's going to drive you to the different areas of the program. Now, for me, I designed mine to reflect that, maybe a director of rooms. I wanted to be able to separate the tiles, group them together. So I've used the function of creating multiple pages. To add a tile, we can simply choose from the list and also select the quantity that we'd like. Another area that I want to highlight are the search results screen I mentioned earlier. So with this, the user has the ability to pick and choose between multiple methods of viewing the search results based on their own preference. Also, based on the user's position, these different views will help them work more efficiently based on the information that's displayed. So for example, if I work at the bell desk, I may prefer the simplified list view. I need access to minimal data. If I work at the front desk, though, it's going to be important for me to see details on guest reservations without the need to first open them. So I may prefer the console view. So this allows me the ability to see expanded details on each reservation, and I can easily switch between them on the left-hand side as well. Last piece I think is good to mention is when we're looking at a guest profile or reservation, again, all after different types of details. So what's great about the profile and reservation screen is that we have the opportunity to select our preferred layout of details. So as shown, we can, design different views for different departments. So if I'm working at the concierge desk, I want to easily see details about the guest's upcoming reservation, just maybe as well as notes from previous days and their preferences. But if I work in sales, I'm more interested in seeing details on accounts receivable on a company profile, for example.
Thank you. That's excellent, Cody, and thanks for those great examples. We continue to hear success stories from customers around the globe about how this flexibility for both the property and users is allowing them to interact with the system quicker and offering more tailored service. We'd love to hear back from what else properties are doing that's exciting and new. This session was hopefully an inspiration to just a few areas of Opera Cloud customization. Thank you, Cody, for sharing all your ideas, and thanks to everyone else for listening in. Have a great day.
And thank you, Ava, and thank you everyone for joining.